January 20th, 2008. Corona, California. A clear afternoon sky over the Inland Empire. November 4008. Victor, a Cessna 150, took off from runway 25 at Corona Municipal Airport just after 3:30 p.m. The 24-year-old pilot had passed his instrument rating check ride less than 3 hours earlier. In the left seat, a freshly certified private pilot. In the right seat, another pilot, just 20 years old, with nearly 200 hours logged. They were cleared to rent the airplane, but neither was cleared for what would happen next. After takeoff, the Cessna banked left and began climbing into the traffic pattern. Crosswind first, then a turn toward the downwind leg. The climb was shallow. The turn came early, and there was no call made over the common traffic advisory frequency. At the same time, November 737. Echo Juliet, a Cessna 172, was descending from the east, following Highway 91, just south of the airport. Aboard were two people, a 73-year-old commercial pilot in the left seat and a non-pilot passenger in the right. The 172 began a wide, sweeping right turn, lining up for the 45-degree entry into the traffic pattern for runway 25. There were no transmissions. There was no warning. The turn placed the aircraft on a direct intercept with the Cessna 150. The 172 was flying northwest at 1,300 feet. The 150 was flying southeast at roughly 74 knots, just above pattern altitude. The airplanes were closing on each other at a near perpendicular angle. Witnesses on the ground saw both aircraft approaching, but neither seemed to maneuver. No one rocked wings. No one turned away. At approximately 3:34 p.m., just north of Highway 91, November 737. Echo Juliet struck the right side of November 4008. Victor. The 172's propeller and nose tore through the fuselage and wing. The two aircraft shattered in midair. Wreckage from both planes fell over a commercial area just south of the airport, damaging cars, piercing a rooftop, and killing one person on the ground. No fire, no smoke, just falling metal and silence. Several witnesses reported hearing the impact. One woman, watching from her backyard on a nearby hillside, saw both aircraft seconds before they hit. She later told investigators, "They never changed course. They were flying right at each other." All 4 people aboard the aircraft were killed. So was a 5th victim, struck by falling debris from the Cessna 150. The National Transportation Safety Board found no evidence of mechanical failure, no issues with engine sound, no trailing smoke. But one critical mistake stood out. Neither aircraft made a single radio transmission. Not during departure, not during arrival. The Cessna 150 turned to crosswind before reaching standard pattern altitude, something that may have placed it lower in the sky and harder to see. The Cessna 172 was entering the pattern exactly where it should have, but neither pilot saw the other in time. The final ruling. The failure of both pilots to see and avoid the other airplane. At non-towered airports, there's no air traffic control to separate traffic. Position calls over the common traffic advisory frequency aren't just a courtesy. They're the only warning pilots get. Broadcasting your position on each leg of the pattern, departure, crosswind, downwind, and entry, helps nearby aircraft build a mental picture of where you are. In this case, with no radio calls from either pilot, there was no chance to adjust, deconflict, or even be aware of the other plane. Silence, in this context, wasn't harmless. It was fatal. This wasn't a case of engine failure, or weather, or pilot inexperience. It was the kind of crash that happens in silence, the kind that doesn't come with a Mayday. In an uncontrolled sky, visibility can be perfect, and still not enough. In memory of the 5 lives lost in this tragic accident, the pilots, passengers, and the innocent bystander on the ground, every video we make is created with respect for those affected, and with the goal of helping others learn from the mistakes that were made. If this story resonated with you, if you're a pilot, an enthusiast, or just someone who believes in learning from the past, consider subscribing to this channel. We cover real crashes, real data, real consequences, and every week we break down another flight that didn't end the way it was supposed to.